Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today I want to make a video and it's a request. I want to ask Panasonic to update their GM1. Now I've owned the GM1 for quite a while now and I love this little camera, and it's a 16 megapixel micro four thirds camera with interchangeable lenses, a camera at this size. And I really think now is a prime opportunity for Panasonic to update the GM1. Ricoh have just released the GR4, or about to release the GR4, and there seems to be a lot of interest in compact cameras now from the public, not necessarily from the manufacturers. Fuji recently released the X100VI, I think it's called the X100VI. So there's a big, interest in compact cameras. I've been using this GM1 for quite a long time and I love the image quality it comes off this sensor. Now this camera came out in 2013. We're now in 2025, so it's 12 years old, but it still stands up against cameras that are much newer. As I say, inside here is the 16 megapixel squeezed into this little tiny little camera body. It also uses conventional SD cards. They haven't gone for micro SD, but this is my request. I want Panasonic to update this camera, and these are the features that I want in the new GM1. Maybe they could call it the GM1 Mark II or a completely different model number altogether. But I want to see a 3-inch articulating screen. Now I love the 3-inch articulating screen on the RX100. I've got the RX100 Mark VII here. Now I don't really want a screen that articulates out to the side. Just a tilty-wilty screen is absolutely ideal. And I think most people that are into photography do prefer a tilty-wilty screen. If you're into video, make it articulating. But for photography, I love the fact that it just tilts up. So I want to see an articulating screen in the GM1 Mark II. That would be fantastic. Also, up the sensor, we now know that you can get a 26 megapixel sensors for the micro four thirds format. The Panasonic G8-7 is a good example of that. So put a bigger sensor in here, even a 20 megapixel sensor. But the 26 megapixel sensor that is in the G8-7 would be fantastic in the new GM1. Make it slightly bigger and have a viewfinder. That would be fantastic, like the GM5. Maybe they should be updating the GM5 and not the GM1. That would be fantastic. Again, my RX100 Mark VII, which I use a lot, has the built-in viewfinder, which is marvellous. So on a really bright sunny day, I can use a viewfinder as opposed to using the screen on the back of a camera. And make it just a little bit more functional. Maybe put a command dial on the back. There's room to fit a command dial on the back of a camera. It doesn't need one on the front, but a command dial on the back of a camera just to make it a little bit more tactile and a little bit easier to use. And I genuinely think you would have a winner. A micro four thirds camera that has the tilty-wilty screen, doesn't have to be articulating screen, a larger sensor and one command dial. I mean, that's all I'd be looking for in the newer version of the GM1. And I think people will buy it because there is such an interest now in the compact cameras. Because of my age and, arthritis and what have you, I don't want to be carrying around large, heavy gear. Carrying around tiny little cameras such as the GM1 is ideal. But unfortunately, I tend to use my Sony RX100 Mark VII more than what I do the GM1, simply because it has the articulating screen, the tilty-wilty screen rather, and it has a couple of command dials, but mainly because of the articulating screen and the viewfinder. So those two features make me take the RX100 out more than what I do the GM1. But the image quality from the GM1 is amazing. I say for a 12-year-old camera, I think is absolutely amazing. You look here at some of these images I've taken with a GM1. I know image quality depends on the lenses that you're using, but that's the other great thing with a GM1. You can put any micro four thirds lens on here. It'd look a bit silly with a really long telephoto lens on, but you can do it. But the clarity, the sharpness from the GM1, beautiful. Really, really nice. You know, I love, even though it's an old sensor, 16 megapixels is completely fine. So if we compare some images I've taken with my Panasonic GM1 and the Sony RX100VII, absolutely incredible how they are so comparable for a camera that is so old, and the fact it's 16 megapixel compared to 20 megapixels, but it has a bigger sensor than what the RX100VII does. But you look at these images here, Sony on the left, Panasonic on the right. That Panasonic GM1 stands up beautifully, really does match the Sony, no problem whatsoever. And in some cases excels. It actually beats the Sony because of color depth, dynamic range, and the colors are just seem that little bit punchier on the Sony, sorry, on the Panasonic. Absolutely amazing. Really do like that. Again, Sony on the left, Panasonic on the right. Detail and colours on the Panasonic are really nice. Nothing wrong with the Sony either, but they're really good. The GM1 takes RAW images as well as JPEGs, which is also great. But yeah, an updated GM1 or GM5 would be on my wish list. That would be absolutely amazing. And still keep it nice and compact, to be able to call it a compact camera. And I think that is incredibly compact. That's the wrong one, that's the Sony. That is incredibly compact. But little GM1 is incredibly compact. I have fitted a third-party little grip on here because it doesn't have one fitted. I've fitted a little third-party grip so I can hold it better. Yeah, amazing little camera. Do love my little GM1. Just wish it had the articulating screen, I say, and the viewfinder. So there we go. That's my wish list for the new Panasonic GM1. Not very much. Viewfinder, screen, and a bigger sensor, and maybe a few control dials just to you know, sweeten it up. That would be fantastic. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and if you work for Panasonic, pass it on to the right people so they can actually see it as well. That would be awesome. Thanks very much. Cheers for now. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with other people if you think other people might find this video interesting. That'd be brilliant. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.